Well, hey, everybody. It's Tuesday at 6 p.m. Owner-operators, breakdowns, and emergencies. That's what we're going to be talking about on this episode of Trucking Talks Live. Hope you're here. Hope you're excited. And yeah, and if you're not here right now, you're here right now watching on the replay, and I love you too. So we're going to be right back. We'll see you guys in just a minute.
Paying too much for trucking insurance? What if you could save more by making one simple phone call and keep more profit? You could very well do just that with one simple call to Sebright Agency, 800-366-6466. Call now.
Now here's a question that all owner-operators and small fleet owners should consider. What happens when you access the unrivaled advantages that are available through the ES Advantage program? We asked Jeff and Charley from Contractors Corner to share their thoughts on how they've been able to utilize the discounts and services that are a part of the ES Advantage.
Your business will make you money if you do well at that business. And ES Advantage in trucking, they do really well at providing those services. So the effect that ES has had on our personal trucking operations, not even talking about what we do on the consulting arena, I've been able to save thousands of dollars a year in fuel because of the relationship with them. I have a new accountant that I work with, trucker CFO, that I learned about from ES Advantage.
They're giving you that 10,000 yard kind of support from behind that creates a way for you to succeed, which is one of the things that we love, because anything you can do to help someone succeed is going to help them succeed. They make money by making sure you make money.
Now, if you're an owner-operator or small fleet owner and you would like to learn more about how you can drive savings to the bottom line of your business, the ES Advantage program has the discounts and services that deliver the kind of unrivaled advantages that are designed to help you improve your overall operation. Get connected with the ES Advantage today.
Jeff, a mushroom walks into a bar, hops up on the bar stool, sits down, says, "Give me a beer." The bartender's like, "We don't serve your kind here." He's like, "Why? I'm a fun guy." Hey, everybody, what's going on? Good to see people here. Chat's blowing up. There's all kinds of people talking and they're chatting, and I'm throwing out corny dad jokes, and I love it. Mark Olinger, shout out. That's one of my go-tos, man. He threw that at me right before the show, and I was like, got to throw it out there. Anyhow, hope the sound is okay. I'm trying a new headset and microphone stuff, and I'm digging it. I like the way it feels. It's pretty comfy, and it's kind of groovy. Craig Hudson, go figure, number one. Matt Nissen came in second, and followed by Mike Fowler. And then, Chris Hamilton came in around fourth, and he's like, "Oh, medal." And I'm like, "No, bro, it wasn't you this week. Sorry." I think I gave him a sad face, and he probably hates me forever now, and that was cool. And there was a bunch of us hanging out over on that Swift owner operator video. They were, trying to recruit trucks and stuff, and that was cool. Right before the show, that was neat. Had a bunch of these people from over here go over there. That was great. Anyhow, so what's going on, everybody? Let's see, who do we got up here? There's all kinds of people, man. It's let me run down the list right here. Tim, good to see you. Matt, Michael Fowler. I know James is here. Whew. Wimpy McPote checked in on us. And he said he went back to silent mode. Carry on. I appreciate that. I'll be in the area all day. Bear Hunter, good to see you. He said, now it's a party. That's what I'm talking about. Let's get some. What? That's not weird. Global Killer Trucking. Like it. What's going on? Yeah. Life on 18 Wheels. Good to see you, buddy. TK. Brother from another mother. Always with the bah humbug. I don't know what that guy. It's like he's trying to bring us down all of a sudden. What the heck? Jonah Green, good to see you.
I don't think that word means what you think it means.
Right? What's going on, man?
Oh.
Dennis Lewis, good to see you.
10 days off. That sounds really nice about now.
Right?
I've been out for 2 months, bro. All those people thinking that I don't work.
I'm in the middle of wrapping up 10 days off right now. It's been weird. Like there was a couple days where I honestly didn't know what to do with myself, and I was struggling because we got some other stuff going on in the background finally, and some other work being handled for us, and we're like, oh, what should I do?
Yeah, I'm headed to the house hopefully the next couple of days. My oldest son's getting married next weekend, so lots to do next week for that. Got
Right.
family flying in from Texas. Got my 2,000-year-old father-in-law that decided to drive from Bend all the way to Salt Lake. So we'll see.
2,000.
The dude's one of those guys, man. My father-in-law. Okay, he's not 2,000 years old, but he's up there. I think he's
Only
old. He's
1,500,
late-
bro. Come on.
I think he's late 80s. It's hard to tell with people like this because I don't really know.
1580s. I get it.
Yeah. He's really, really old. He lives by himself in Lapine, Oregon, in a house that he built with his own two hands. When he
That's
was younger.
awesome.
And he keeps getting up on the roof to fix his own roof. He had a heart attack a few years ago, and he tried to drive himself to the hospital
That's fair.
in Bend from Lapine. And that's like, what, 30
Respect.
miles? You
Right.
know?
I can respect that.
He's just one of those dudes, man. He's just one of those dudes.
Yeah. Hey, man,
I-
it's hard to stop people sometimes. They're like,
You know,
I'm going to do it.
Even with the heart attack thing, I hope I'm half as able as
Right.
he is when I'm like 70, let
Right.
alone almost 90.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of hope in that for me, to be honest. I talk a good game. You know what I mean? I'm talking a good game. And
Hey,
I don't know that I'm going to do it.
everybody should know this. When you see our new logo come out, the skull that's going to be on the front of the truck with the new logo
Oh,
is modeled
God.
after Charlie's face.
Oh, at least you didn't
Because-
say Skeletor this time.
Because Donna thought that he looked kind of skeletal.
Oh.
And she's like, that's cool. I'll use that.
See, this time he used the word skeletal. When he was talking to me,
That's
he
because-
called me
that's because-
Skeletor.
That's because I don't want to get sued by Hanna-Barbera.
Whatever. Trucker Dan, good to see you.
Oh, sweet. Trucker Tim, did you get into the group itself after you did your sign up? I'm interested because we don't technology all that well. So we want to make sure that everybody actually gets in the group.
Right?
So, yeah, technology. So we have some people helping us with that now. So hopefully it'll go smoother going forward. But yeah, so this is a good time, Charlie. 1 week left. Labor Day's the last day for the special, and then we go all in. But I'll tell you what, when we do go all in on the full price stuff, the bonuses you guys got for signing up early, they're yours forever. But we're going to start a couple of new things that we will announce next week. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
You sounded just like Belt on the Cruise.
I'm not sure if that's good or bad.
I love the Cruise. I wish there were more movies.
I do too.
So yeah, look forward to our first group Zoom in the next couple of weeks in that community. We will be making arrangements and doing some learning on how to actually make that thing work the way we see other people using it, and I think that'll be good. When you do that though, and when you join the mass group that we have, the big group Zoom calls, be prepared, because if you raise your hand and you have a question, a problem for us to solve, we're going to put you on the screen. So be prepared for that. We're going to be doing hot seats in there. So when we open up the Zoom room for the monthly Zoom conferences, come with your questions, man. Don't be shy. We'll put you right up there. We'll hot seat it. Because remember, if you have the question, Charlie, other people probably have that same question.
Exactly.
And that's the whole point of a mastermind.
Sorry.
to get
Hey, Tim.
all those gray cells together.
Tim, just so you know, we just haven't looked at that back end stuff. That's one of the things that we have some people helping us out with right now. So they're trying to get all our back end stuff sorted out for us because we couldn't get it all working right. So he said he didn't get the email, Jeff. So I'm gonna toss him an invite after the show. If you could just go in and verify stuff for me, and I'll do that at the end of the show, and I'll make sure I get that.
Sure.
I'm gonna write a note right now. Invite Tim.
Right.
Look at that. Got it. I wrote it down. It's at the top of my list, yo. I'm going to check that one off. Like Josh was telling us how he makes his list. And he's like, no, not till I check it off I like it. Josh, our coach, mine and Jeff's coach.
Yes.
Love that guy. God, I like that guy. Seriously. He got us fired up today. Like there is no tomorrow or no last week.
Oh man, we had it was not just Charlie and I this week in our
We had the whole team in there. It was great.
Team. We had Donna and Rosie, and man, it was great. I'm not going to mention who else was in there because it's a secret for now.
Right? See, I thought you were going to drop it. I was like, oh, okay. Maybe not. It's a monthly deal, Michael. It will happen every month on the anniversary, I'm guessing, of the day that you signed up, type of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so yeah, that's how that'll work. Bear Hunter. I love you, man. Just saying. Bear Hunter, he was talking about the RWE group. Just saying.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm catching back up. I was looking at some other stuff. It's trying to. Hey, you know what though? Topic. Focus, Charlie. Focus. I'm going to go back here. I have notes that I wanted to make sure I steered this the right way for once, Jeff.
You have notes.
I have notes, bro. I should have shared them with you.
This is like the one time I don't have notes, and so now all of a sudden notes are important. Okay.
Watch this. Watch this.
Let's see how it goes.
Watch it. I'm gonna give you notes, bro. Look, I'm gonna give you notes. Don't worry. I got you.
So
I got you.
the topic we selected was side of the road. Something goes sideways. The heck? I'm getting notifications on my laptop now, even though I turned my phone off.
That's great. Slack is it? Slack's a trip. Getting used to that one.
Yeah. So this was actually Charlie's, mainly Charlie's idea. So Charlie, go.
Let's go. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about those situations that happen on the side of the road, breakdowns, emergencies, things like that. And we're gonna try and dip into maybe how to first prevent them, as many of those things as we can. And how do we do that? Well, it's pretty simple to me. Proper and thorough pre-trips, guys. I mean, there's a lot of these issues that you can see prior to even getting on the road. Let's just be real. And there's those days, and we get it. There's days where you're like, oh man, I'm tired. And you know what? That's usually the day you're going to have something go wrong.
Hey, can I just bring something up real quick?
Of course.
Do not be this guy, because you come on, you've all seen this guy. Doesn't even get out of his truck. He probably pees in a bottle or something when he gets up.
Right.
Opens his curtains, turns the key. You can see him going and logging a pre-trip, but he never gets out of the truck. And then about 10 minutes later, he leaves. Guys, don't be that guy.
Right.
That is a disaster waiting to happen.
Don't be a bear. I mean, don't be that guy. Don't be a guy like that. I just had to play with him.
Oh.
Or a hunter. I'm just saying. So 10 minutes. That was awesome. But yeah, seriously, that like pre-trips. I mean, look, hit the important things every day, right? And every time you stop, hey, like we mentioned recently, do a walk around, man. You stop to go pee, walk down one side of your truck, check out your tire, take a quick peek underneath, dunk, 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 dunk. When you come back, walk down the other side, do the same thing, dunk, 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 hop in, be on your way, right? Yeah. Make the most of that time to maximize your profitability, your profitable time where you're running, since most of us are running on a mileage contract that I'm aware of. I mean, we got guys that are out there on percentage and things like that. Great power to you. But still, your time is most valuable when you're rolling. Let's just be real.
Right.
So, do what you can to make sure that that time is valuable and minimize that downtime. That downtime is what kills every one of us, because if we ain't rolling, we ain't making no money. If we're losing loads stuck on the side of the road because we blew 3 tires because we just didn't bother to look.
Right.
I mean, that's on you. I mean, that's totally avoidable. I mean, there are things that happen. Things break beyond your control that maybe you didn't see, mechanical breakdowns, things like that. And I think that's going to bring me into the next thing, and along with pre-trips, is I'm going to say, your maintenance schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Performing this preventative maintenance, on top of your everyday pre-trips and your, mid-trip checks and things like that, get a good schedule. If you need help with that, if you don't have something that's actually laid out for you contractually, like I have over at my carrier, get with us and get with some other people, and let's get you on a good maintenance schedule that makes sense. I mean, I would absolutely love to step up and help you out with something like that. And I think it could be beneficial to you, and maybe you could share your list with someone else who maybe they don't have one either, right?
Right.
So dipping into that, we could talk about, like my basic schedule is, they say it's basically a inspect and lube type deal every 25,000 miles. Every 50,000 miles, we're jumping into the oil changes, filters, that kind of stuff. A little deeper inspection. Every 100,000 miles, my warranty and my contract states that I, got to do a bunch of extra steps, right? But I have that, and when I go to the shop, I'm like, here's my contract. I need you to perform all of these tasks. Now, of course, the more tasks, the more expensive. But I can tell you, to date, we're at 300,000 miles. 298,057 is my 298,057 is my odometer right now, where it was when I dropped my truck off yesterday morning. No breakdowns, no mechanical breakdowns to date. I've been really good about, really hitting my maintenance schedule, and trying to be proactive and looking for other problems. I do have a regular check engine light that comes on all the time.
Listen, Bear Hunter, listen to this.
Okay. This engine light comes on all the time. It does not throw a code. And when I asked Freightliner and I asked our shop people about it, they're like, yeah, so this is what's going on. It doesn't throw a code. What happens is it's the ECM throwing out a request, like a query to a specific point in the truck somewhere in one of the resources, right?
Sensors.
And it's usually one of the DPF type sensors is what this code or this light typically goes to. For me, it happens mostly when I idle for long periods. It'll come on and it didn't get the voltage reading that it was expecting. It could have been off by a couple points of a whatever, or it didn't quite get the exact code that it wanted back from that device. And it throws a check engine light, not the stop. Oh my God, get into service check engine light. Definitely not a red stop light.
The solid one that doesn't have the check.
Right. It's just the orange light on my Freightliner. No code ever shows up on the dash. It never flashes a code. There's no active codes. Just happens. And what I was told by Freightliner and our shop people was, okay, yeah, that's what this is. It's a query that didn't get the response it thought, right? And it's not going to go away. It takes 3 ignition cycles with turn-off periods of about 15 minutes before that will recycle. If it happens to throw that query out in the middle of that 3 cycle, it will reset that cycle. So, I've literally had a light on for a whole week because, 2 days later, it threw the query and didn't get the response. And it's like, hey, check this out, right? It's not a worry about it right now, but check it out. And so it's a whole thing, like, and there's no active codes. So whatever, I'm not worried about that.
So Sean has that on his straight truck right now. He called me about it today, so that's why I called him out on this one.
Nice. Well, yeah, and it's a regular thing. I know that on the Freightliners, it's a big thing. I don't know about the Kenworths or anybody else's right now, honestly, God, because I don't drive those trucks. It's not my personal experience. If any of you got a different experience or something similar, let us know. Hit that chat. Let us know. If you're watching us on the replay, definitely hit us in the chat and let us know what's going on there. But your preventative maintenance. So, hopefully okay, so it was funny. I got called and told, hey, man, we've been noticing a bunch of these DPF codes. I'm like, yeah, I haven't seen a single code on my truck. They're like, yeah, we just want to check it out. I'm like, great, I'll be in for service Wednesday or Tuesday, right? And that was a week ago. So now they have it, and hopefully they'll check it out. But it got me thinking today, and this is going to take me into something else that tools. What are some of the basic tools we should have on the truck? By all means, throw what you think you should have for tools over there, in the chat, and let me know what you're thinking, because maybe you'll have something that I forget to say or didn't think about. That would be awesome. But there is one I want to share, and I've been thinking about this for a really long time. Alan Becker used to, tell us, hey, man, get one of these things. And it was a different type of system. But what I ended up ordering today, let me throw this up on the share, Jeff.
While you're doing that, Trucker Dan says, I spent 13 hours on the side of the road for a brake chamber, total of 23 hours, because the air tank weld broke and landed on the airline.
God.
On the top of the brake chamber broke. Dude, that's a lot of bad luck. I don't even, you get up under the truck trailer or stuff like that. I'm not even sure you'd even see that. That's just, wow.
So let me throw this up here. This is what I ordered today. It's the Next IQ, which a lot of the shops are using, the Next IQ reader deal, and the OTR Diagnostics Pro Package software, which goes on your phone and allows you to put this into your data port, and it'll work on Freightliner, it'll work on Volvo, it'll work on Mack, it'll work on all of them. Let's just throw it out there. It'll work on all the major trucks, okay? They have adapters if needed, and here's the cool thing about this. You're not going to be able to go in and reprogram all of your ECM settings. But what you are going to be able to do is pull up your code history. You're going to be able to read the active and inactive codes, right? And then it gives you diagnostics on that and troubleshooting tips for those codes. What should you be looking at for this code that says this, right? And here's where I think it pays for itself for the first time for the majority of you out there. Okay. One of the biggest things we hear all the time, I had to get a forced regen again. My truck derated to 5 miles an hour. I'm stuck on the side of the road. I got to get towed to a shop just for them to do a forced regen because I can't trigger that forced deal because it's gone too far. This adapter right here and the software will allow you to start the forced regen from your phone. They got it on sale right now for $420. That gives you a year of the software, and the device is yours, right? I don't know what the renewal price is on the software. I don't even care. If I use this one time, I figure it has paid for itself. And all the data that you'll be able to pull out of your ECM without having to go pay someone $35, $70, $200, right? If this stops you from getting towed one time for a forced regen, you're ahead of the game like, oh my God. So I literally just ordered this today. It shipped out today. I ordered it from Pittsburgh Power. It's out there all over the place. Same price wherever the hell you go. I don't get anything. I don't care where you order it from. I like to put my money through Pittsburgh Power because I love those guys. But okay, so that we're going to throw that out. Check that out. It's called OTR Diagnostics Pro Package, hardware plus a 1-year subscription. And I'm done with that. I'm not trying to sell their product. I'm just letting you know what I just spent my money on. And I think that's important because I don't want you to think that, oh, you should buy this and I've never used it, because that's not a cool deal. right? I typically don't recommend specific things unless I've tried them. I have not tried it yet, but I can tell you that as of right this moment, I am a believer. I actually heard on another show today where they were talking about this product and how beneficial it has been for different people. And I read a bunch of reviews and I'm like, this is fan-freaking-tastic. I am all over this. I'm going to get it. Had the money, ordered it, said, get it now. This is a business expense. This is an investment in my business. It's going to help me down the road. I got it. So let's go back to tools. What kind of tools should you be carrying on your truck? What are you guys carrying on your truck? I mean, I've got a pretty good socket set, various sizes and types, different driver sizes, screwdrivers, of all sorts, flathead, Phillips, Torx bits, you know what I mean? A hammer. I carry a tiny little 5-pound sledge, or no, it's a 3-pound sledge, excuse me. I have the handle's like this long, and the head's like that big, and you can whack some stuff when you need to. Because you know what? Most things can be fixed with a proper hammer. That's what I've come to learn in my years of doing things and trying to fix stuff. My mother taught me that a high heel shoe and a butter knife are about all you really need in your house to fix whatever happens in your house. Just saying. Anyhow, that's never mind. So those types of tools, man. Sockets. I actually used to carry around. In fact, I actually do have an air jack that I can plug into my airlines and jack up an axle to get a tire off. But I've given up on removing and swapping tires myself at this point. I'm just over it. One of the things I'm actually putting on the truck, I got to swap some tires out here pretty quick. I actually have a spare rim at my house. I'm going to take that spare rim and put it on my spare tire, mount it, inflate it, put it back in my rack so that I have a spare whenever I need it. That's going to cut my downtime when, somebody does have to come out and swap that tire out for me, right? One less thing they have to do, a couple less things. They don't have to mount it. They don't have to air it. They're going to check it, look at it, put it on, and I'm going to be on my way, man. Duct tape, gorilla tape, duct tape, all those kinds of things. That's awesome. Good God, those are fantastic fixers. There's that I can't remember the name of that tape, Jeff. It's good for even high pressure hot hoses. It's kind of gel like when you wrap it in. It kind of compresses and really does good things on some hoses. Sometimes it could actually get you from the side of the road, maybe a few miles down the road to a truck stop where you can actually get in the shop without having to spend $1,000 on a tow bill. Zip ties and bungees, absolutely, Bear Hunter. Those are great. Kenneth Bear Hayslip says he's actually got one of those, and he says, "Oh, different device, but same concept." Yeah, I like the thought of, and we're talking about the Next IQ and the OTR software. I am a data nut. You guys know this. Yeah, I like the data that I'm going to be able to see from past events, be able to clear it out, reset it, get some new data, figure out what's going on. Maybe I can, get some things diagnosed beforehand. And that is key to this, I think. Not only is it going to fix the things that are happening that are major, you could look at, oh my God, hey guys, this is what I got. Maybe I need this on the side of the road, right? Because there are diagnoses that could be something. Yeah, it could be something literally like that. You're on the side of the road, plug in your little reader. Oh man, it says that this sensor's bad. Can you bring one of those with you? And let's put that in. Saves you the tow bill. Saves that guy going back and forth, which a lot of them won't do. They're like, nah, man, just get it towed and bring it to the shop, bro. Too much diagnostics on the side of the road. I don't want to try and figure it out, troubleshoot it out there, that kind of thing. Fuses and light bulbs, life on 18 wheels, shout out. Exactly. I can tell you right now, and this is bad on me. I don't even know what the hell I'm supposed to put in my 23 Freightliner. I've never even bothered to look because it's LED, and my understanding is it's the whole damn housing. But I do have all of the other types of lights that we used to use all the time. So I may not be able to change my headlights, but I can change just about any other light on my truck and trailer. I also keep a good 12 gauge wire, multiple spools of it, wire nuts, crimps, sealers, heat shrink tube, a little torch, but I've always got a lighter on me pretty much all the time. That would work. These things are great. Yeah, wire connectors, an ohm meter. So learning how to use an ohm meter or a multi-tool, a multimeter, excuse me, a multimeter. Multi-tool is good to keep on your belt. Just saying, a little Leatherman type deal. Yeah, pigtails and airlines. So that is absolutely legit. I have a full set of airline and electrical line in my tractor right now because I may have torn 3 off in a single week at one point in time.
Right.
True story. Bad week. That was brutal, man. I was so tired that whole week.
Yeah.
I'm just glad I didn't die.
No, and one of the things we're looking into getting and reviewing is one of those air compressors, Charlie.
Yeah. Oh, that thing is phenomenal. From was it Milwaukee? Yeah.
Yeah.
That thing is phenomenal, and I think they were like somewhere over there around $300.
I think we priced everything we would need
Right.
at just over $3, because you need to replace the chuck.
Right.
So you have the double-sided threaded chuck instead of the.
And of course, the battery is separate.
Trucks.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And the charger,
But and we'll review it once we get one. But I saw a charger, Charlie, at Home Depot, whatever.
Right.
That does both the smaller batteries, like for my drills and stuff, and the big batteries in one unit.
Right.
So, and now that we all have inverters in our trucks these days, I mean, you just plug it in, let it charge up, and then unplug it.
Matt said only the actual driving light turn signal is serviceable. So yeah, cool deal. So my turn bulbs are little bulbs. So I'm gonna put that on my list of things that I need to get in my box. Don't know if the ones I have currently in my box. I know that the ones that are in my electrical box, I actually have an electrical box. It's crazy with bulbs and fittings and fuses and oh my God, the whole 9 yards, right? I need to find out if I have the right ones for my current Freightliner.
For the longest time, I had one of those. Remember back in the day when you could take this class on the Swift kiosk in the terminals on how to do basic repairs, even airlines?
Mm-hmm.
And they would give you that whole toolkit with all that stuff in it.
That's the box I use to this day.
And anytime you like use something, you just take the broken thing back to the shop and they gave you another one.
Yep. That was awesome back then. And that was a good class.
And that had that super tape stuff that you could actually do the temporary repair on airlines with.
Yeah.
That stuff, don't stick it to your fingers, that stuff.
It's funny. That metal back insulated tape.
Yep.
That stuff is phenomenal for sealing up holes in trailers.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the way that it bonds, and it's good on a reefer trailer as well.
Yep.
So it'll cover whatever minor holes you got. I mean, look, I've patched some pretty monstrous ones, 3 or 4 layers deep, just to be able to get down the road and save a load and get it unloaded and then take it to the shop to get it repaired properly. Right?
Yeah. There's one time I picked up a loaded trailer in West Valley City that had a hole in it, a loaded trailer. And it was going from West Valley City, Utah, all the way to Houston. I was not going to say anything that was going to jeopardize that load. So you know what I did? I drove the truck out to, and Donna will remember this, it was when we first moved there. Drove the truck out to the TA, bought some of that tape at their shop, and said, "Hey, dear, could you come meet me at the truck stop and bring a ladder?" I was up there freaking.
Nice. There was a little while there where I thought about putting a ladder on my truck, and then so this is bad, and I don't recommend anybody do this because it's dumb, whatever. But I literally on my older trucks, the brackets that hold our side wings on, right? You know, that so many people are notorious for ripping off for whatever reason. Anyhow, those brackets used to be metal and they were mounted really secure. I would damn near use them like a ladder, climb up to the top, step on a trailer, and I could walk the entire roof of the trailer.
Don't tell the state of New York that, because they'll tell you, see, you can get up there and get that snow off.
Right. Oh, heaven forbid. You know, but yeah, I would get up there, and because one of the things I was running into a lot at the time was the top little clearance lights on the front corner of the trailers. Dude, I had to wait like 6 or 7 hours one night to get one of those stupid lights repaired because I knew the weigh station down the road was absolutely tagging people for lights from people that were coming the other way. They're like, bro, they are getting everybody with the stupid light out, right? And I'm like, dang it, man. After that, I figured out how to change those. Oh, it was great, man. And Road Ready, Kenneth Bear Hayslip. Road Ready was that course. That was fabulous. They used to do it for free. Then they started charging for the box for owner operators. If you're a company driver, you could, you know, they give it to you for free and just keep restocking it. Then they later on, oh, we got to pay for the class and or the box, whichever, you know what I mean? It was funny. And I took that class like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Because they updated information and it was cool. God, I wish they put that class back out there.
And there's some things like I remember one time I actually rewired the passenger side of a trailer.
Yeah.
In Wisconsin in the wintertime.
Oh yeah, you beat me there.
You know, the stuff that we do sometimes, it's like, I ain't giving man, it's gonna take the TA 2 days to get to me. Go buy a string of wire and do it yourself. You know, you can save yourself so much time. A little bit of elbow grease. And you know, I hear people all the time saying, well, I ain't doing that. It's Swiss equipment. Right. Okay. Well, you sit there for 2 days then. Right. I mean, if you don't know how to do something, then okay, by all means, have a professional do it. But if it's something you know how to do, don't dig your heels in and say, Swift needs to take care of this.
Right.
I don't know, man. I think you're doing yourself a little bit of harm there.
Yeah, that's a disservice to yourself. You're definitely limiting your availability to run and maybe jeopardizing a customer, which isn't your fault per se, but this is this falls into that cost of inaction, COI, right? You could have fixed this. You had the ability, the know-how, and the resources, but you chose not to and waited 3, 4, 10 hours. And now you're mad that you're 10 hours behind schedule. So now you're driving 70 miles an hour instead of the 60 you would have been doing had you not lost that 10 hours. Maybe you're arriving late to the customer and, you know, granted, not necessarily your fault, but now the customer's pissed off and they're like, well, you know, Swift's been late a bunch. We're going to, you know, lose his account, or your carrier's been late a bunch. We're going to just kill this account. Maybe that was the straw that broke the camel's back, right? You could have prevented that. And I would much rather do a lot of the simple things that I can do. I literally used to be able to do the tires myself. I'm not physically capable of doing that. My back won't support me doing that.
Tell you what, man, the last time I did a mud flap, this was on a Swift trailer, so it's been a while. Last time I did a mud flap, dude, I was struggling.
Right.
Because those bolts were I had to get the freaking brake free out, spray.
Right.
To get those bolts up. But it was still faster than, so I had a mud flap on the truck, right? Another thing you should have, mud flaps.
Yeah.
Fit right in the box.
You can find them everywhere.
Yeah, find them on the side of the road, man. Just drill new holes.
Anywhere you back in that's got a curb behind it, I bet you there's a stack of mud flaps along that row.
Yep. All you got to do is re-drill holes.
Yep.
But, you know, that's another thing. So you go into the TA and you do what you do these days, right? You tell them, and then they're supposed to call Swift. Well, it takes on-road 9 doggone hours to get back to them and approve a freaking mud flap. Or you could spend what took me about an hour because of how hard it was to get the bolts off.
Right. Yeah.
And get it done.
Rosie and I had to stretch there one of the last times we were out OTR, where it was like every freaking trailer we picked up in a week, we were doing mud flaps on, and it was annoying, man. But you know what? You know, I called on road, and 2 of the times 2 of the times I called on road, had my headset on, I'm underneath trying to fix it, right? Working on it.
Yep.
Before they ever picked up, I had the mud flap done, hung up on road, went on about my business. Before they ever even picked up the phone.
Ken's saying that the new mud flaps have torque bits now. That's fine. I've got a full set of torque bits for my impact thing.
That is fabulous and bad all at the same time, just because there's so many people that don't have torque bits. But yeah, I've got a monster set of torque bits, not just the little tiny ones. You can find them like the big, big ones.
Yeah, I've got not on the truck with me, but I have all of the sizes all the way up to the doorposts.
Yeah, I think it's a T50.
Yeah, I've got one of those at the house. That's something too. I had one time. I think this is all the way back when I had the Kenworth, so that was a long time ago, Charlie. My doorpost got loose. Got to the Edwardsville terminal. Student gets out. I get out. We're fueling the truck up, and the door won't shut.
Right.
And that thing was only backed off barely. But man, if that's get out the torque wrench set,
right?
Get that thing tightened back up, and it's weird stuff, right?
No doubt.
Sometimes, just the weirdest thing.
So, I think we've touched on a lot of tools and things like that. I mean, Harbor Freight, look, people talk trash about Harbor Freight. A lot of the tools that we use, there's some specialty tools that you can pick up at Harbor Freight that you may only ever use once or twice, right? And to be honest, sometimes those tools are only good for once or twice. Like they'll break after the 4th time you use it, right? Mm-hmm. But the cost for the 1 or 2 times you actually need it or use it, way better than buying Snap-on. I'm just saying. I'm not going to buy a Snap-on tool that I'm only ever going to use once. I'm sorry. It's just that it's crazy to me. But
I can tell you that, I like to take the passenger seat out of my trucks.
Right.
You ever tried to get the seat belt out?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Those are Torx also, by the way.
Yep.
And my Torx heads that are that size last exactly once to get the seat belt out.
Right.
By the time I'm done, there's so much torque involved in getting that seat belt out that it literally twists the bit like this.
Right.
It's bizarre.
Yeah, I've had that fun activity doing that. I had to replace seat belts once in one of my trucks. I don't even know. Look, Chewy's got 1.8 million miles and still got the original seat belts. They probably should be changed just because of the the slight fraying you get here from 1.8 million. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I had to replace one that was like 200,000 miles because it was a garbage seatbelt, whatever. Employees at the time, just saying, whatever.
Yeah.
Don't understand it. But yeah, torch, exactly. Seatbelt, bolt, torch.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a thing. Good Milwaukee angle grinder.
Ken says that I can buy acetylene torch now.
I want to watch this happen. I'm
going to put that on you, Ken.
Yes. So, making sure you have all these tools and things like that. I mean, scroll back in the chat. There's been a lot of, I think, some good ideas. Pry bars, Matt saying, I have a great big yellow, I want to say it's about 3 foot plus crowbar that I picked up at Harbor Freight or Home Depot. I can't remember which one it was.
Hey, here's one that nobody ever thinks about that I used to carry. I don't have one right now because of the whole new truck thing. Flathead flat shovel.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys know this, but the when they put the 2x4 bracers in, the easiest way I found to get those stupid 3M brackets off,
right,
is with a flat shovel.
Yeah. I do that with my crowbar.
Yeah.
Because it's got that long, and the weight behind that thing is heavy. Like if you drop it on yourself, I think it's going to impale you. I'm just saying because I've come pretty close. But yeah. So I used to keep a small flathead shovel that had a collapsible handle on it. So it folded up into almost nothing, basically a little bit longer than the shovel head itself, right? That thing was fantastic. Can't remember where the hell I got that one, but it was great. Yeah, Blackbeard says he's got a flat bar for that. An E-tool, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Super compact, super strong. An E-tool is probably better than any of the other shovels you could get out there, to be honest.
So the other
thing,
it was just the one I have is only about that long, little flat shovel.
Yep.
And the actual reason why I got it was because it's nice and compact, fits in the luggage compartment, right? But there was one year that I got stuck at the big Bosselmans at exit 310 in that one state. Anyway,
yep.
Got stuck in the snow, and you know what? My student and I dug ourselves out using my dustpan, and I went out and bought a shovel after that.
Yes. Yes, I will do it. For anyone who's not familiar with the E-tool, what we're talking about, Chris Hamilton actually spelled it out a little bit better. Entrenching tool. You can go to damn near any Army Navy surplus store and ask them for an E-tool or entrenching tool. It's literally, it folds up into a little green case. I believe all the military branches use them at some point. It's only about this big. It's literally folds up in a little green case that slides in. It's like this wide, like this tall, and it's only like that thick. Fabulous. We used to carry them on our rucks. There was a time when I actually had one on my LBE, my load-bearing equipment, my belt, my combat belt back in the day for us old guys. We didn't have all this high-speed stuff. Yep. Man, and look, man, hasty foxholes and digging cat holes for those moments behind a tree when you just need a little relief. I'm just saying, whatever, man. I mean, those things are fabulous, and they're very compact, not super expensive.
They have a fairly sharp blade on one edge.
They do. You can hack through limbs with those things. I have cut like firewood, all kinds of things. Cat holes. Kenneth's laughing at me. But yeah, like Matt said, Leatherman, Life on 18 Wheels said the only thing I don't carry is snow chains. Hey, that's you. I can tell you that I actually have a full set of chains on my Freightliner, and I haven't seen real snow, and I don't even know how long. Whatever. I carry them more so for the legality reasons in states like Colorado that have this crazy long season when you have to have chains, right? Just in the off chance that I happen to drive through there on September 1st, right? I don't want a chain. I am of the thinking now where I believe chains are in an emergency situation to get you out of a bad spot to a safe spot. That's about what I'm willing to do anymore.
Yeah, but you don't live in Utah.
True enough. And
I'm not afraid of chain. As I've gotten older, I dread it a little more, so I went out and got auto socks.
Yeah, Kenneth was just bringing that up. He said, I'm thinking about getting socks. I'm not going to chain up, and socks don't take a lot of room. Exactly. Auto socks are fantastic from what I've seen in the right conditions.
I almost had to use them last year. Almost. I got them halfway on, and then they lifted the chain off. So.
MRE recycling hole. Exactly. That is what a cat hole is. Exactly. So tools. We've kind of went over a bunch of those, and I think you guys have some good ideas. If something else to maybe keep for those emergency situations, sometimes you can't keep the motor running. Maybe you're in a cold spot, So I would include in those tools. I would include these as tools, some sort of a warm blanket. Those emergency thermal blankets are pretty good from what I hear, in an absolute pinch. Lots of water, always have water on your truck. Maybe some ramen packs. I mean, something like that, maybe a couple of MREs with a heater, an MRE heater. Those are phenomenal things to have in case of an emergency, right? But let's talk about, all right, you have an emergency, Jeff. What are your first actions here, man? Like, oh man, let me get out of the travel lane. I don't think I can get to that off ramp up there to really get out the highway. So scoot as far over as is safe, to that right side of that white fog line that is hopefully there, and there's hopefully enough shoulder for you to actually move over on. But keep in mind, you know, if you're in some of these southern states, the last thing you want to do is touch the grass off the edge of the road.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah.
I mean, I've literally seen trucks just fall over sideways. And this is after they'd sat there for 20 minutes.
Yep.
Just slowly sinking, slowly, and then timber, pow. And now your truck looks like it's sleeping and it got tired and taking a nap.
Yep.
Just saying. You know, there's so many things that could happen. So, I mean, if you got to get over, if you got to get out and maybe there's not enough shoulder, look, man, get as far over as you can without dipping into that grass, if at all possible, right? And if you do, get as far over as you can without hitting the grass. Get out there and walk that. See what kind of firmness there is there. You know, maybe take your 90-pound crowbar like I was talking about, that big yellow one from Home Depot. Hit it in the ground a couple times. Maybe use a load lock to check the firmness of the ground, right? Pound it a little bit, see what's going on. Yep. You know, if your boots are sinking in it right away, probably shouldn't put your tires on it.
Right.
Probably not going to work out well.
And then depending on the reason you're stopping,
right?
You know, like you hear a loud bang.
Okay.
Whatever. I'm going to go and figure out what the damage is. That's my next step.
Right.
Now, here's something that I'm going to suggest, though, because I see a lot of people that don't do this. I do this. Use the passenger side door.
Right. Yes, please.
Don't open your door into traffic like you see so many people doing. I mean, I have a freezer in my passenger place.
Right.
So I do have to climb over it, but I'm still going to go through the passenger door instead of the driver's side door.
Yep.
There's no reason to risk that. You know, wintertime. How often did you go, oops, I slipped a little bit? Well, what if you slip and fall on your butt right in the middle of the travel lane?
No
and then you
doubt.
Get ran over, right?
Bad day, bro. Bad day.
So refresh my memory, Charlie. You assess your damage or whatever. You've got, crap, I really can't move too much, you know. The mud flap hanger is touching metal on the rim.
Right.
You know, whatever. Yeah. There is a standard. How long do you have to put your triangles out?
10 minutes. DOT states that within 10 minutes of you being pulled over on the side of the road, you have 10 minutes in which to assess your issue and determine whether or not you need to get those triangles out there or warning devices of proper status.
And they're what, 2-3 feet apart? Isn't that right?
You set the first one about 10 feet behind your trailer. Then you go out to 100 and 200 feet is a good standard. And here's something. So let's pretend. Let me see if this is. So let's pretend this is the white line. This is your fog line here. Your truck is sitting here. You're going to place your first one about 10 feet behind your trailer here. And you're going to slowly walk them in at an angle towards the grassy shoulder, right? Yes. You want them to actually be diagonal because what that does is it draws the eye. They see the first one closer into the grass. The next one's closer to the line. The next one's closest to the line. What that does is it draws their eye there and it guides them farther away from you. There's a weird psychological thing that happens there, and that's why they recommend to use that system for getting them out there. But the standard rule of thumb in most states, I mean, there are some states that say different things. 10, 100, 200 are great placement locations for your triangles.
Yeah, the reason I put it the way I did, Charlie, is because we've all seen guys that,
oh God,
the first one's like right next to the DOT bumper, and then the guy might have like meandered a couple feet further down the road, and then the last one's only like 10 feet away from the back of the trailer.
And just so you know, triangles have that black heavy base filled with sand on the bottom of them. The triangle is lined up in the box on top of it like this. That black stand pivots out.
Yes.
Put the triangle together, clips together at the top, pivot the black stand out. Don't try and balance the whole thing on its end because the first car that goes by, there goes your triangle, right? Keep them away from the white line so that guys aren't running over your triangles. That's another thing that helps with that diagonal pattern. You know, as it gets farther away from you, it's closer to the grass. people are less likely to run over your triangles that way because there are jerk faces out there that literally it's their fun game every night driving down the road. How many sets of triangles can I destroy?
Yeah, I find that
It's a
strange.
thing. It's an unfortunate cost of business, but you know what? Do what you can. You know, they have those little strobe lights. They're flat, round strobe lights that are fan-freaking-tastic. I have yet to buy a set. There are some really good brands out there, and there's some not so good brands out there. So do a little research on those if you're going to purchase them, because some of them are a little spendy, but they say they're indestructible when you get the better brands. Literally could drive over with a big truck. It's not going to hurt it.
Yeah, they used to sell about a medium grade one at the company store there in Phoenix.
Okay. Yeah, and you know, I mean, that could be an extra thing. I'm not a big fan of the sulfur-based road flares. I'm afraid of starting a fire. Because jerk faces out there want to run over those too, and then they roll over into the grass, and now you're like, oh, now I have a wildfire, and my trailer just caught on fire because that jerk face drove over this chemical flare.
Yeah.
Oh God,
and
it
I haven't
scares
even
the hell out of
seen
me.
those in a while.
Oh, dude, I see them all the time in the South. It's crazy. It trips me out how many people.
Well, you know, Florida, man. You know, I'm just saying.
Sometimes that's just a good time out by the lake. I'm just saying, whatever. What? Anyhow, so get out, assess the issue. If needed, immediately, you know, get those triangles, get the warning devices out there. Make sure you get it out there in 10 minutes. I've seen cops that'll drive by you, come back 10 minutes later just to see if you got them out and you're still there. Yep. They started a stopwatch on you, bro. Don't think that they don't. Some of those guys they're tricky, and I like it. And they're holding you to the letter, and that's fine. I don't mind. I'm trying to play by the rules anyhow, you know. But so you broke down. Get your warning devices out. You've assessed your damage. You've got some tools. Maybe you can make the repair. Maybe you can't. You know, make that determination. Do the quick YouTube search. I mean, so many of us have learned to fix things by YouTube. It's crazy.
Oh, another thing to check during pre-trips in the winter time up north. It's actually happened to me when I first started driving. Knock the ice off your airlines underneath the trailer.
Absolutely.
This happened to me once.
Excuse me.
Once, by the way. I'm just going to reiterate that. This happened to me once. Because once it happened, I was like, that ain't happening again.
Mm-hmm.
So much ice built up under there that it dragged my airlines and
right. That sucks.
Yeah.
And just so you know, airline brakes like that, there are these brass devices that are about this long. Mm-hmm. They come in various thicknesses. Those are DOT approved repairs, not just temporary fixes, repairs for airlines. And they come in every airline size that you can get. They're super easy to use. You literally cut the airline, you unscrew it, you push one in on one end of the airline, you push the other in on the other. And when you screw it together, it tightens everything down. And that is considered a permanent DOT fix.
Yep.
Fabulous devices. They're not super expensive. I mean, you know, it's brass, so you're going to pay for the cost of the metal there and a little bit of engineering. Fabulous things to have. Yeah, you know, Trucker Dan, I got 2 sets of warning triangles. Man, look, I can tell you, I had one set. Go ahead.
I had 1.5 sets once.
Nice.
Because someone ran over the tail end.
Right.
And I went and bought a new box. I'm like, hey, I got 2 extra ones.
Something I was thinking about when we were talking about getting out on the driver's side versus passenger side, right? My triangles, now I'm thinking about it right now, they're in my side box on my driver's side. I think I'm going to actually remount them in the passenger side because that makes way more sense, right? Yeah. That's where all my tools are, is in that left box, on the passenger side box, rather. I think I can fit my triangles in there as well, and I think that's probably going to be a good move for me.
You know, if you had a Western Star with a custom interior,
here we go.
You could fit your change, your tools,
1 hour,
everything,
13 seconds,
everything in that one side box.
Right.
Donna was amazed because I keep my water in there too. I buy water by the gallon. I'm one of those people. I put a bunch of gallons of water because I'm paranoid about running out of water out here on the road. And she was like, "Wow, that's a lot more room than in your Freightliner." I'm like, "Yeah, right."
Yeah, no doubt. Well, to be fair, in my Freightliner, I have dividing walls that separate the center compartment. All I need to do is pull out the dividing wall, and I've got the whole damn bunk, right? I'm just saying, whatever.
Okay.
Quiet you. I've had enough of your Western Star crap. Blah, blah, blah. Tell him, Chris. Tell him again. I think you need to tell him one more time. Because we've had about enough of this Western Star. No, really, I'm like, cool, man.
That should have been the question for Michelle and Addison was, when are you guys going to get Western Stars?
Right? When are you going to offer some? I did ask. Addison did say one of the things that he said was, we have a couple leasing options. We have newer trucks. He was real specific about the use of the word newer trucks. Okay. And so I keyed in on that, and I said, diving deeper into what Addison had just said, he used the word newer trucks. I said, are there any plans on us having access to new trucks? And it went unnoticed, but that's fine. Whatever.
Well, there was someone in our private Swift group for you Swifties out there that he's coming up on end of lease, and they're saying if you want a new truck instead of MRPing, which at Swift you have the option to make it into a used truck after you paid the new truck. It's a whole thing.
Right.
Anyway,
yeah, it's a thing.
It's like a 5-month lead time to get one of the newer trucks. So
yeah.
And it's not like it used to be, Charlie. One of the things, even in this truck, I really miss having my driver's side bunk window.
Right.
I like having both windows. I'm sorry. It seems to be becoming more and more of an industry standard that's not standard on anything anymore. And I think that's sad.
Matt said, yeah, his Western Star with the mismatched shoes. There you go. Good job, Matt. I'm glad you threw that one out there. I miss the digs sometimes that I need to throw out there, but that's fun. Fire extinguisher, Matt Nissen. Good call. When's the last time anyone actually ever looked at their fire extinguisher? I know a lot of people just ignore it and take it for granted. I can tell you that mine is actually fairly fresh because I had this knack of rolling up on fires, on truck fires, and trying to help put fires out because I wanted to be a fireman apparently when I was younger and I didn't get to live that life. So now
tire fires with a fire extinguisher.
God, that last one we were so close, man. Nobody would let loose of their fire extinguisher. It was like we ended up gathering 8 or 9 of them, and we were so close to getting that tire fire put out on that. It was a car hauler, and if we could have just got put out, instead 7 cars got burnt to the ground up on the racks, and it sucked. We were so close. People were like, no, bro, I'm not giving you a fire extinguisher. Okay, bro, it's cool. I mean, whatever, I get it.
Well, but I remember when that happened, though, and you're like, watch, I'm going to get pulled into the next way station.
Right. Oh, God. Look, so the first time I ever did that was in Oregon on like the 205, and this lady's Audi had an engine fire. And look, can I just tell you one of the most enjoyable moments in that event was running up to this lady's Audi. We got it to pop, the hood to pop, but we couldn't get the latch because of the fire.
Right.
We literally grabbed the corners of her hood and ripped and pried and bent that hood backwards. And I got to tell you, I had a good time destroying that Audi hood. It's probably wrong on me, but we did get the fire put out. Her belongings within the driver compartment of the car. No fire reached there. It was getting to the firewall. I had a state trooper pull up on me, and it was me and another truck driver took both our fire extinguishers to get this fire out. So it was pretty quick that we got it. Oregon State Trooper says, I can write you a ticket now. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, you don't have a fire extinguisher in your truck now, do you? I'm like, well, no, I don't. He's like, that fire extinguisher in your truck, that is for you and your truck. If you catch on fire, now you don't have one. Now I can violate you. And I'm like, that's kind of a move.
Welcome to Oregon.
Okay. And so needless to say, I drove down the road and the very next truck stop, which was before the next scale, and bought me some crappy kiddie fire extinguisher that was garbage. But at least I had one, know. And it wouldn't, it's funny, it wouldn't actually mount in the mount I had for it. So it was like a whole thing, whatever. But I mean, that kind of stuff, excuse me, Trucker Tim said his is 5 years old, but it's still in the green. Donna said one day Pete and I were saved by a trucker with a fire extinguisher. Lady we were riding with had her engine catch on fire. It's actually more common than most people think. You know what I mean? I see a lot. I have a weird knack of rolling up on them when they're. You have the inkling that you can stop this fire. It's not like fully engulfed. Forget about it. I'm like, peace, bro. I don't. You want to ride? I mean, that's the best I can do at that point, you know. That car hauler, that was one of the things I offered him. I was up in Georgia. I'm like, hey, bro, where you headed? He's like, down to Clearwater Beach, Florida. I'm like, look, my house is on the way. If you don't mind, what we can do is I'll give you a ride down to my house in my truck with, you know, me and my wife. We'll drop the truck off. I'll grab my car and we'll drive you the rest of the way to your house, bro, just to try and get you home. And he almost took us up on it, and then he ended up working something else out, which is cool. But I mean, look, what else are you going to do at that point? You know what I mean? That's about all the help I can do then. Oh, yeah, it sounds like something a Texas Trooper would do. Yeah, I can see that. I don't know, I've run into some pretty cool ones, though.
So you've done all this.
Right.
Now it's time for the really frustrating part.
Right.
You know you got to call for on-road.
Right.
Now, if you're with a mega carrier, you just call the little 800 number and you sit on hold for 3 hours.
Right.
If you got your own authority or whatever, I hope that you've made some arrangements for that sort of thing.
Right. You know, have you done some shopping for that part of it?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that there's different services out there. I talked to a lot of guys that are it's like, oh, I just call the TA.
Right.
Because I guess TA Road Squad does pretty good.
They typically do. I won't crack them most of the time.
But you know, there are. We haven't done enough research to really make any recommendations on this one. But you know, there's different programs out there that you can buy into.
Right.
That have a central dispatch and can get you the help that you need when you need it. Yep. I'm gonna say that if I'm out there, truly cowboying it up on my own authority, I'm gonna subscribe to one of those.
Right. You know, we actually have some roadside assistance options for those of our guys that are using the DS Advantage fuel card. Mm-hmm. You know, that's something that they offer through theirs. I mean, they got, you know, some tire folks that they do business with that'll do road calls, some mechanical road call discounts and things like that. So, I mean, you know, there's lots of systems and services out there like that, but do some research and find something before you need it.
Right. Yeah. You don't want to be calling Greg's tire shop in the middle of the night and have him say, yeah, buddy, I'll be out there in like 4 hours. Then you get the bill for $10,000.
Right. He's like, well, you know, the road call's $5,000, bro. And the tire I brought out to you, that's a recap garbage thing. I found it at the dump yesterday, to be honest. I didn't even recap it myself. That's going to be $1,800, bro, because I had to bring it out. I mean, all kinds of nonsense we've seen out there, and you're at their mercy at that point. Good luck disputing it. I mean,
oh yeah, I've talked to guys. Okay, full disclosure on the Facebooks,
right?
But
the Facebooks.
Well, you know, I joined that NOAA group, which is kind of a hit and miss on if those guys are all that helpful. But there was one thread that I thought was just fascinating. This guy was trying to figure out how he could dispute some on-road charges that, and he was, I don't remember what the exact prices were, but they were insane, dude.
Right.
Insane. And everybody agreed that they were insane. You know, you expect to pay a little bit for that type of service, but man, this was like a couple grand more than it should have been. And the consensus was, well, you know, good luck. I guess you could go to small claims, but they're just going to say, well, did you sign the paper? Did you agree to the service? You know, you really, unless you're prepared, you're really at the mercy of these people. And, you know, not everybody's nice like Charlie.
Right. So Chris asked, you know, for the Swift guys, how long does it take to move money from your maintenance account to your fuel card? It's usually seconds or within minutes. There are some weird times. Yeah, if you're in the hole, if you're behind, if they're processing payroll, it puts a weird thing on it. You may have to call someone and say, hey, look, I'm in a bind. I need to put money on my fuel card, right? On the con data card so that I can pay for this thing. Again, not a great place to rely on that because of those. That's when it's going to happen to me. right?
Right.
During those weird periods where I can't access it. So I try to keep, a decent balance in my business account on a separate Visa debit card, credit card, just in case, man. I don't always keep it up, but I try to keep it there as best I
Well,
can.
and this is a good time for my plug on how to manage maintenance money. Charlie does the 20 cents a mile onto
Right.
a Swift maintenance account, which is fine. But how do I put this? Full adulting.
Yes, full adulting.
Full
is
on
yes.
adulting. I'm an advocate of 20 cents a mile is good because it's going to give you the money that you need. I mean, Charlie, you've been driving this truck for almost 2 years. No
Yeah.
major maintenance, so you
Right.
could build up some money in there. I mean, what you really want to be able to do is stroke a check for a transmission.
Right.
That's my goal. But so when you work for a mega carrier that has an escrow account that you can use, that will keep the money away from you. It's harder to get out. So
Right.
if you have a hard time adulting like a lot of us do, it's good because it gets the money out of your hands.
Right.
The better way, though, especially right now, and Donna and I were just talking about this on our personal finances. Put 10 cents in your Swift maintenance account and 10 cents
Yes.
into a savings account that you could transfer to your business checking account.
Right.
Okay. Interest rates right now are really high. So what we're doing right now, I mean, it's not a lot of money. It's not like we have $1 million in a savings account, right? But every little bit of interest does help. So we started doing everything that we're not using that week into a savings account just to get that little bit of interest going. And so that's a little that's my take on it. If you have issues adulting, by all means, keep that money out of your hands. I don't always adult the way I should either. And there's times, well, with the 22, Charlie, I used your method.
Right.
Because I was honestly having a little issues adulting at that point.
Right.
So I decided to do the Charlie thing. So worst case scenario is on the maintenance stuff, by the way. And one of the reasons why I advocate to do it the way I'm talking about is when you have those weeks that aren't great, would you rather have the money in the savings account that's really easy to access to pay your mortgage?
Right.
Especially if you had a negative week, because boy, is it tough getting money out of your maintenance accounts on a negative week. They want you to pay up the rears first and this and that. And it just becomes a whole thing. And even then, I don't know if it's changed, Charlie, since I was there, but it used to be that if you were in the rears, you had to wait till the next week. You had to wait till you had a positive week.
Or you have to deposit money directly in to cover whatever balance you have that's not positive.
Right. So yeah, I mean, just
it's
two different ways of doing it.
Right.
It's how easy do you want to have access to that money?
Mike's got a good one. He keeps an emergency credit card. I tried that at times, and again, I'm not a good adult sometimes, and I ended up using my emergency credit card for something fun, and then that became a thing. My snowball, blah. Adulting's hard. It is. It's hard sometimes. But look, he's got a $10,000 limit in his wallet at all times. So I mean, dude is sitting in a good spot. Something else you might want to think about. I hope you have a good relationship. Maybe you're using a credit union. I prefer credit unions over the big box store banks. It's easier to build a one-on-one relationship with a lot of those folks. When I needed to do my tranny, I didn't have the cash on hand at the moment. I literally, sent a message like on my app to my loan officer at my credit union, said, "Hey, I need 10 grand. Less than 15 minutes later, I had 10 grand in my bank account. And then I had the money coming in. I knew it was coming in anyhow. And I just paid it off as quick as I could. Right.
Right.
But I wouldn't have done that without the relationship that I had built with them prior to that. So, I mean, these are all things that throw in your toolbox, whether physical or mental toolbox. Right. These are all things you should be thinking about. So now you've you've done some adulting beforehand. You've got money available. You've called your on-road people. You decided you can't make the repair yourself. You know, some steps maybe to take care of yourself and keep yourself safe, right? I don't like sitting in the truck on the side of the road. I also don't want to stand behind the truck at the trailer. I'm not that guy that wants to get out there and direct traffic. No, I love directing traffic. It was one of my favorite things in law enforcement, especially in the Army. That was awesome. But no, people are crazy out here. You know, you see folks that kind of move off up under the shoulder, you know, maybe across the median there on you know, the right shoulder side, get a little distance between them and the vehicle. I don't see anything terribly wrong with that. I mean, I'm going to be on duty because we have to log these things. I'm going to log on duty while I'm on the side of the road. Look, I don't care if you like it or not, whatever. But that's one of the things that I'm going to do, right? If I'm going to be outside the truck, I typically try to stay in front of the truck, towards, you know, the grill, out in front of it, a little space between me and the truck. If that's where I'm going to be hanging out, maybe closer to the grass. Maybe I've been known to take a little lawn chair and sit out there, you know, in the grass to the front side of the truck.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody runs into that stuff, I'd like to not be clobbered by it. And I also don't necessarily want to be in the truck. You know, they say if you're going to be in the truck, in the vehicle, that you should be seatbelted in case someone does hit you. Right? It's going to keep you from getting tossed around, you know. Not saying I do it all the time. Sometimes I sit in the truck, wait for the guy to show up because it's raining, it's whatever. You know what I mean? And sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
To take a nap, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a thing, you know. But we're throwing out the best possible scenarios here, and the safest routes is what we're trying to do. That's not to say that there aren't, you know, some little fudges we all do here and there. But I feel like I would do a disservice. I didn't give you the best, safest advice that I could give you, right?
One of the things I appreciated last time I had a trailer go, it was Love's that showed up, and they had the whole barrier and everything set up behind my truck. I really liked that.
Yeah, I dig that. You know, so you know, now you're waiting. You know, make sure that you're safe. Make sure you're in a safe enough location. We can't always be super safe, but be as safe as you possibly can. Put on a safety vest walking around the truck out there.
Exactly.
Right? A flashlight. Maybe a little red strobe of some type, right? Don't use a white strobe in the oncoming traffic. Bad juju there. You know, do what you got to do.
They might think you're a school bus.
Right? Yeah, that'd be great. You know, but these are all things we don't really think about beforehand until we're like, oh crap, I'm broken.
One thing I'll point out. So, you know, I had that blowout a few weeks ago on my tractor.
Right.
I pulled over to the side of the road, assessed the damage, and I was only about 400 yards or so away from a rest area, and I determined that I could safely go to that rest area.
Right.
So,
sometimes, you know, that's the best determination to make.
That's another thing when you're doing your evaluation of what's going on. And be honest with yourself. I mean, like I said, if you've got, you know, a mud flap that's hanging in between the two axles and it's, you know, don't move the truck. Come on. But if you can move it safely that couple hundred yards to get to a safer position, I would say do that. Get out of that danger zone. Can't always do that.
Right.
But again, be honest with yourself about it. Really assess the situation.
Oh, let's see where we at. I think that's a good kind of rundown on the subject. I mean, I felt pretty strong about this when I came up with this idea today, and I did some work with my AI tools that I do in the background, which I love, and helped me kind of develop the idea out a little bit. So, you know, that's where this came from today, you know, and it was things that we've been thinking about, that I've been thinking about, things that I think about all the time. It's kind of weird. You know, I'm like, well, what if? I am a what if guy. Mm-hmm. What if this happens? How will I react? And I come up with some great ones that may never happen. I promise you, I've thought about most of these situations, whether it's, protecting myself in a bad situation with people. What happens if this happens on the road? What if that car that I see coming up on my left side right now blows a tire and dips out in front of me right now? Where am I going? Do I have a clear lane on the right? Do I have a clear lane on the left? What have you? I'm constantly running through scenarios in my head.
Charlie has actually talked to me about his plan if a mass coronal ejection happens from the sun and knocks out all electronics and he has to walk home.
We have a plan in place. My family legitimately has a plan for that. It's crazy, I know. And people look at me like I've lost my damn mind. But look, these are things that could happen. Likely, who knows?
Yeah.
But we have a plan in place. People know where to meet up in the event of something catastrophically bad happening. And so, I mean, I'm constantly thinking, I'm driving down the road, there's a car on my right, there's a car on the shoulder. What if somebody steps out? I'm looking through the back windows of cars to see if there's a head in the driver's seat or the driver's side passenger back seat, right? If I see those things, I'm really more likely to move over further or hit the brakes harder so that I can move over, those types of things. Look, there's times where you just can't get over, right? But if you see an orange sticker or some bright sticker on the back window of that car, there's probably nobody in that car, by the way, just so you know that. That sticker is put there by the state patrol or something like that.
Right, it's getting ready to get picked up.
Right. Someone's gone and they're moving that car here pretty soon. But if I see a head moving around, right, I really start watching. I slow down. I get over as far as I can. And even when I get over, I'm still watching them like a hawk, man. And I'm looking to the left side because maybe somebody crossed the road that thought they could get help over there. So I'm really scanning both sides. I'm really looking around. So I'm constantly thinking about, what if this happens? What if this happens? How do I react? So that my intention, my goal is to not let anything be a surprise. Yet every day I'm surprised by something else. So, I mean, that's life, right? These are things that we talk about and we think about, and this kind of crap goes through my head. And I don't think it's crap, but I just use that word. This kind of stuff goes through my head all the time, and I maybe you don't share it enough with people, and I think that maybe I'm doing a disservice to people I know by not sharing enough. Some of these people just want me to shut up about it at this point.
I was going to say that Chris Hamilton is your people, and Wimpy McPote of all people is my people.
Right.
Chris Hamilton says emergency credit equals new firearm.
Right.
And Wimpy says bought $2,000 worth of Lionel trains this week.
You
see, that's why I can't have credit.
Yeah. Matt, good point. Look at Google Maps. See if maybe there's a better turnout ahead. Right.
And
just around that corner.
And if you don't know where you're at, On-Road's going to ask you where you at.
Yeah.
I found Google Maps to be better than Trucker's Path for telling me exactly what mile marker I'm at.
Right. Worst case, you get on Google Maps Street View, scroll forward or backwards to find the next mile marker near you.
Yep. Trucker Tim says, years ago, it was raining very hard at night and water was dripping onto the dash and it caused all my instrument lights to go out.
That sucks.
That stinks.
Been there, done that one actually in Chewy. That's what killed my ECM. Figure that one out. That was a whole thing. Lost speedo, all the dash lights, and then at one point they started flickering, and they were like, "Woo!" I thought it was going to stroke out from the flashing, and it was something else, man. It caused so many problems. Damn water intrusion in ECM. I'm telling you, bad day. Good Lord. Donna, indeed not Jeff. Mike said, my son is lead line safe, that he keeps extra microchips. Look, see, in case of an EMP, that's my guy right there. That's my dude. I'm reaching out to Mike's son when we need some stuff. I'm just saying, meet up in Florida, yo. We got a spot. Anyhow, we have a whole community plan. That's the crazy thing for that, SHTF situation. We've got community plans in place for Armageddon, non-biblical style. EMP, nuclear war. I hope there's not nukes, but you know what I mean? The crazy things, civil unrest, whatever. Anyhow, Trucker Tim said this. I like the what if scenarios too, especially if Anakin had merely blocked Mace Windu's lightsaber instead of cutting off his hand.
So Tim and I are having a disagreement on Facebook, by the way. I don't know if you know that or not, but he likes the Acolyte and I didn't care for it. So we've been having words a little bit about this.
Hey, by the way, quick, if you haven't done it, give us a thumbs if you dig what's going on. If you don't, throw it down there. If you do this, do us a favor. Type in the comments why you did it. That's all we ask. Just let us know what you didn't like about it. If you didn't like it, and if you did like it, hey, put that in the comments too for us and let us know. Maybe that'll help someone else find the channel. Maybe they'll be like, I don't know why I should watch these guys without ever looking. They scroll through, because I do it. I read through comments a lot of times before I actually look at a video sometimes, just to see what it's about, and I'm like, oh, this sounds like something I might check out. There you go. Bammo. Oh, we both right there. Bite.
All I'm gonna say is it got canceled. Sorry, bro. Sorry.
That's a lot. Tricker's coach bobtailed home 600 miles for a fuse. I actually remember when that went down. And I thought that's crazy as hell, but whatever.
Remember your what was it, a $2,500 fuse?
Oh yeah, that was brutal. It was a fuse that nobody knew was there. It was an extra fuse in line on the ECM line for some reason. Oh man, we checked the main fuse that everybody knew about, right? Oh no, that fuse is fine. Still no power to the ECM. We're like, oh god, the ECM went belly up, right? Had to get towed out of the damn DC line at the gate on the exit. I had to put Chewie in gear, right, in like fourth gear and third gear, and turn the ignition to do the chugga to get the truck out of the driveway, out of the way to wait on a tow truck. They told me that was like $700, and then it was like another $1,000 in troubleshooting diagnostics to find out it was a 25-cent fuse. That was an extra fuse in the line that nobody thought should even be there. That sucked a lot. That sucked so much.
But anyhow, hey, it probably kept your ECM from blowing up. So
yeah, maybe it's a thing.
Remember, Bruce years ago was talking about ECM problems, and they would actually just hang a new ECM on an engine just to see if it would work. That's how they would diagnose those things. Pretty wild,
right?
He would say that those electrical problems are just a freaking nightmare to track down.
Chris Hamilton, does anyone make a portable air compressor for truck tires? Yes, we were talking about that earlier in the show while you weren't here. You were doing your pickup earlier. I would suggest you roll back, but yeah, it's Milwaukee. Milwaukee has one that will actually do up to 130 or 140 psi. Oh, 150 psi. That will absolutely work on our trucks. So I mean,
you just have to. The only thing with it is it's designed for like pickups, so you need to replace the chalk on the end of the line. The chuck.
Heat chuck.
Woodchuck.
How much?
Yeah.
But yeah, Milwaukee makes one. We've talked about it in the past. Jeff and I have been talking about getting one forever, and then we just don't get it. And I mean, things, money, life, whatever.
I'm famous for this, for saying this. I've always said that if I had money and time at the same time,
right,
Donna and I would go do things like go to Niagara Falls. It is rare for me, folks, to have both at the same time. Right. When I have money, it's because I worked really hard and I want an extended vacation like Christmas or 4th of July.
Right.
And then by the time I go back out, I'm like, gotta go make money again. So it's the life of a dad of 6 kids,
Yeah.
You spend the money to spend the time with the family. And someday Donna and I will take a trip, though. I'm adamant about that.
I dig it. It's like you said, you either have the money or you have the time. When you have the money, you don't have the time. When you have the time, you don't have the money. It's weird things. But you know what? If we work harder at adulting, we can make those work together.
Yeah.
Look, we got to throw it at each other every now and again just to keep us honest and keep us straight, try and get us refocused on our goals, Jeff. Got to get focused on our goals. hold each other accountable for these goals.
Hey, so speaking of financial goals, right? For those of you that haven't caught the latest podcast,
Right.
go over to podwheels.com, check it out. We interviewed Colton specifically about business credit and the responsible use of credit and money in the trucking industry.
Right.
He has some really great tips on how to build the business credit a little better, and he really blew away some myths that I bet that one or two of you still believe about business credit. So go listen to that. He'll set you straight, and especially if you're one of those guys. And we've got plans for you guys, by the way. Want to build small fleets? It's really hard to just drop cash on like 5 trucks.
Right.
So, start with that podcast and learn the ins and outs of business credit and what the banks actually care about as far as business credit goes.
Right. It's a thing. I mean, there's some legitimate stuff to do here, and we've got a podcast coming up in the next couple of weeks that'll be released. It's in editing right now. We're gonna kind of touch on the profit and loss statements. The importance of them, how to, a basic understanding of why it's important, why you need to learn how to read this thing. These are all things that, we forget. Jeff and I, forget all the time that we forget. We didn't know what it was. I didn't know what the hell it was. Right. I mean, I ran a PI firm way back in 2000. Honest to God, I never had a P&L for that company. I know that sounds crazy. It was a really simple sole prop company to run. I had money in the bank. The business made a hand over fist. It was ridiculous at the time, to be honest. And it's just whatever, man. I paid the taxes. I paid an accountant to do my taxes at the end of the year, and we moved on, and we were happy. Whatever. When I came into trucking, and they're like, "Hey, we checked your P&L." I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about?" I mean, it was the thing.
What?
Yeah. What? Mom always said, but yeah, so we forgot. So, we went over with someone this past week with their P&L. They had never actually seen their the non-graphical, the actual spreadsheet version of their P&L. And they're like, wow, this is great. All I normally see is this little bar graph thing that, tells them, oh, here's your gross profit, here's your net profit, here's, this, your expenses.
Which I'm just going to say, Charlie, because I actually liked that. That is
right.
new. He had ATBS, and that's a new thing they're doing apparently.
Oh, it's a great snapshot.
But it's a good snapshot. It just doesn't give you all the data.
Right.
And we go into it in a little more detail in the podcast, so look forward to that. And Wimpy, air chuck and glad hands work great and plenty of pay aside. Not when you pump your tires up to 115. I'm just going to put that out there.
Right.
It'll get you up there close to 110. Close.
Right. Yeah.
But it also takes an hour and a half to do.
The closest I ever got with the glad hand chuck was 112. Mm-hmm. And it took freaking forever. And then there was this one time back in the day where maybe I had a little bit of an air leak, and I couldn't get that damn line to get up to 110. I got to 105, which is good enough to get me down the road. I mean, it's a thing. I'm not saying everything's great, right?
One of the things that we really like about this, and we're hoping it works the way it's advertised, is you get the correct chuck for it, first of all. Right. But you set the pressure that you want the tire at.
Right.
And then you just go do the rest of your pre-trip.
Yep.
And then it shuts off when it's at 115. Bam, there you go. You don't have to babysit it. You don't have to so the glad hand and chuck that I have is not one of the threaded ones, right? So I have to literally sit there and hold it there.
Right.
Minute,
I know it's
2 minutes, and then check the pressure. Oh, it went up 2 psi.
Freaking knees, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you slip and you were at 105, you're like 108, and you slip and you're like, psh, and you recheck the pressure and you're like 105. You're like, dang it, man.
Yeah. So that's what
God.
I would say, is it a necessary tool? Probably not. But I don't know how old you are, dude, but Charlie and I are in our 50s, and we're all about the convenience items these days, bro.
Like for real.
I mean, it's 93 degrees up here in Chicagoland where I'm at right now.
Oh God.
And I'm running both my APU and my engine because my old butt is hot. I need both air conditioners going. So if you talked to me even 10 years ago, that wouldn't be the case. I'd be out here just sweating and suffering, and I didn't care. Man, when you get a little older, that comfort and convenience becomes much more important.
Okay, I wasn't naming who we discussed with their P&L. Trucker Tim's letting the cat out of the bag on himself. So he said after our sit down on Friday, I got with the ATBS rep, and she definitely noticed the errors with the insurance that I had pointed out. She's going to get with the bookkeepers on that. Good. Tim,
Cool.
Thank you for following up, taking the action, being the adult here.
And your next step, by the way, Tim, once that thing is accurate, we can look at it again.
Right.
We can start looking at, okay, you're doing pretty good. We know that because we know you. But let's look at the numbers so that we can use the numbers instead of just that, oh, we know Tim, he's okay. You know, but let's look at those numbers again once that's fixed, and we'll see what you're really making, dude. My guess is you're doing pretty good, though. Otherwise, you would be not as nice as you are.
Right. Michael Fowler, the Halo tire inflation system. I've taken that too. Definitely. It's something that is on my shopping list right now for this truck or my next truck, whichever we'll see when I get it. But here's a caveat that I'd like to throw in here, and it's something Jeff and I were talking about here. We found quite a few comments out there in the reviews and things like that where people had found that the inflation system actually had failed. It's not a super common thing, but it does happen, and it's not keeping each tire to the proper pressure. So one of the things that I'm going to do when I do make that switch is to put an in the tire pressure monitoring system, right? Yep. So that I can see a real-time display on pressures and heat, right? Along with that system, I think then you can't go wrong. You know, then I think you're looking at never really having a catastrophic failure due to pressures ever happening at that point, right? Unless you simply are not paying attention at all. And the only time you should see a catastrophic tire failure, which is oh my God, it blew up like we see on these trailers all the time, is a road strike. Debris caused road strike. There should be no other. I mean, typically catastrophic tire failures are not. They're things that you should actually be able to prevent them with some basic tire maintenance. Monitoring pressures is really the number one.
I don't know if we talked about it live on the show, but you know how we like to talk about our mistakes. And
absolutely.
The blowout I had, Charlie and I discussed it, and I should have absolutely recognized that tire was not a good tire.
Yeah. To not bust his testicles here. Yeah, I mean, he had a lot of things going on at the time and wasn't quite focused on those particular things. Mm-hmm. So I'm not. I didn't even never call him out on this because I know that he learned from that situation without me ever saying anything. Mm-hmm. And what he learned afterwards, he realized he's got slightly mismatched tires.
I actually have 3 different brands on this truck.
Yeah,
which I did pick up on that, but what I didn't pick up on was I also have 2 different sizes of tire on this truck, and I've spoken. So for those of you that are new to the show or haven't heard me talk about it before, I do not own this truck. I am a contractor, but I'm going through what's called the pathway to ownership. So a lot different than the mega carriers. It is through ES Advantage, sort of. Expediter Services is the parent company. So in order to buy a truck from these guys, you actually have to prove that you can cash flow the truck.
Right.
So you have to drive one of their trucks for 6 months and prove that you can cash flow it before they're willing to risk the money on selling you a truck, which I actually think is a much better than a lot of the mega carriers out there, including the one I was at for 18 years.
Right.
I mean, they actually make you prove that you can run the business before they're willing to bankroll it.
It forces you to get educated.
So the person that actually owns the truck, we have some discussion to do. I don't know how it happened, but he ended up with several different brands of tires, and all but one of them is tall rubber.
Right.
And for those of you guys that don't know, there's tall and then there's low pro. Most over-the-road tractors have low pro tires, to the point that when the on-road guy came out, he was like, "Wait, you don't have low pros? Let me go back to the shop and get some tall tires for you."
Right.
Didn't even dawn on any
It
of
was
us.
a bummer. Yeah.
None of us thought about that.
So it's a thing.
So uncommon. But so I've talked to the owner of the truck, and I might get him to buy my Michelin's off the other truck,
Right.
because I could sell them to him for less than he would buy them for, put a little money in my pocket, and increase the fuel mileage on this truck.
Right. Everybody could win in that situation.
Everybody.
So.
I just have to get somebody that's willing to come out there and swap them, because that truck doesn't move right now.
Wimpy McCode, I see Sparking Tires and Laugh Bayer coming soon. Man, I see those guys and I'm like, good God, bro, please stop. Just stop. Or worse, they've already had the catastrophic failure and they're just spitting chunks out.
Oh, my favorite
How do
is
they not see it?
At midnight, they got sparks flying out their butt.
Yeah.
How are they not checking their mirrors at all?
Nope.
I mean, how do you not see that?
No, they're watching Friends on their iPad on their dash.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's putting it nice. I'm just saying. Whatever.
Really, really good Friends.
Right. Hey, but
Atlanta.
Exactly. Oh, stop it, bro. Stop. Don't do it. So, I'm going to throw a thing up here because we were talking about, the thing that we did for our friend here, Trucker Tim, and went over his P&L and things like that. These are things that we're going to make available in our private community. The sale is ending soon. Next Monday is the last day of the sale. After that, price is going up. You'll never see $37 on our You'll never see $37 on our price again. That's just how it is. This is our introductory deal. You're never going to see this price again. I just want to put it out there. This is your last chance to lock it in at this price. As long as you keep your account active at this price, you will be locked in at that price for as long as you keep your account active. You can go right here to www.rwedrive.com if you're interested in signing up. We're going to be doing some group coaching in there. We're going to have some other offerings coming soon. Some more classes that we're working on now that we've got some time because the back end stuff is getting handled by a team that we've brought on to help us out. We're going to be able to start producing a lot more content here, hopefully in the near future. So yeah, definitely check it out. I think you're going to find that there's a definite value there. Rather than looking at this as, just another expense, I don't believe it's an expense. I believe it's an expense in your business and your future.
An investment, dare we say.
An investment, yes, in your future and your business, right? Don't forget, it's not the only reason to do it, but it helps. It's tax deductible. This is a business-to-business service that we're providing to you. You'll have invoices to submit to your accountant. So there you go. You're going to save a little bit off that price. And here's the deal. You're going to learn. You're going to be a part of a community with, hundreds, eventually thousands of years worth of experience, not in this head, because this head is jumbled up sometimes, but in the collective mind as it grows, as the community grows and grows and grows. Yes, we are, Borg. I am one of 37 to 79,000. You know what I mean? So exactly, it is a write-off.
Yep.
So, look at this as an investment in you. Look at this as an investment in your company, in your business, the thing that's going to pay for you, your family, and all the things that you want to accomplish, right? You're going to learn ways to do better on fuel mileage. You're going to learn ways to maybe shop for fuel better. Some of these are the more basic steps. We're going to be breaking down into group coaching sessions later on as we progress this thing through and doing these large Zoom calls with people. And, we'll be able to say, hey, Bear Hunter, up on the stage, buddy, what you got going on right now? What is it you need to focus on this week? this month? What's your major issue, right? And we'll be able to share that knowledge and have the input from that community. Well, here's an idea that might work for you. Here's an idea that worked for me. Hey guys, why don't I was thinking about trying this, and everybody like, whoa, don't do that, bro. This is what happens if you do that, right? It can save you thousands of dollars in revenue. It can save you thousands of dollars in lost revenue, and it can save you thousands of hours in time. If you're thinking about making the leap into the contracting world, whether it's with a mega carrier or someone else, check us out. I believe that you're going to find something there for you as well, because we can actually help you set your game up so that you have a far better chance of getting off on the right foot. Chris Hamilton's a great example of that. I mean, he's more than welcome. He tells people all the time. I see him do it all the time. You know, that with 30 years of trucking experience, before he made the leap in the contracting world, he reached out to Jeff and myself in the community. He learned a lot of things first, got himself set up right from the beginning, hasn't had an unprofitable week since he started. And he's 6 months in now.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Getting set up and having the guidance from the start is really key.
If you think about it, 6 months ago, where were we at on volumes and all that stuff?
Exactly.
We were right at the bottom. It's starting to recover now. So he got in at what a lot of people tried to tell him, don't get in now, bro. It's murder out there.
Exactly.
But, one of the things that you're going to find in there, and we're going to do some shows on this, and I'm going to put it out there too. If you guys want to get on the hot seat right here on the show,
right? I almost forgot. Yeah, thank you.
Send us a PM in the Facebooks, because that's the easiest way to get a hold of us right now.
Right.
And let us know you want to come on the show. We want to schedule it so that it's not a madhouse.
Right.
So we'll put you on one at a time, and just tell us, what's your number one concern, your number one thing that you need solved today. And let's go over it right here, live on the show.
We're going to do some live coaching right here on the live show.
Right. And then that'll give you a full taste of what we're talking about here. One of the things that's been brought to our attention from some people is that we talk a good game, but we need to show everybody what we do.
Right.
And I agree with that 100%. So let's get some guys on here in the next few weeks. Just again, shoot us the PM, or even do it through the chat here in YouTube, right?
Yep. Drop some comments.
And we can chat back forth with you, and we can get you on the show, and let's go over, what is this? Try to think of the number one thing that's not lottery numbers that you need.
Right. I couldn't pass that.
What's your number one concern? Let's work through it together. Let's get it done. Let's get you to that next level. And then,
So with all that being said, if you guys got any questions that you want us to touch on real quick, if we can't get to them, definitely leave them in the comments after the live show is ended, and we'll be able to reach out to you that way. But if you're interested in this, remember the deal ends Labor Day, which is September 2nd, next Monday. www.rwedrive.com. You can go there, sign up, lock yourself into the price. We've got people that are signing up just recently. Yesterday, as a matter of fact, was our latest one. So we're looking forward to growing the community. We've got quite a few people in there right now. I think you're going to find a ton of value and really be able to understand that you are investing in yourself and your business, and this is going to help you out down the road. Don't look at it as a cost. It's not a cost. It truly is an investment. It's a mindset change. Get yourself in the right mindset, the entrepreneurial mindset. The company guy says, "Oh, that's costing me whatever." The entrepreneur says, "I'm investing in this. Here's my return on investment." There's also, like we talked about, with Josh recently in the private community, the cost of inaction, the COI. Cost of inaction. What is you not taking the step going to cost you now, tomorrow, next month, next year? I think you'll find that the ROI far outweighs the COI in a much better way. So check that out, guys, and we'd love to have you there, and we look forward to it. Any questions you guys got? Please feel free to throw them up real quick, and we will get there. Spreadsheets, please. That's something we can work on.
We need to get with our guy on that.
Right.
As a matter of fact.
Chris Hamilton wants you to use him as a reference because we have a referral engagement contest going on inside the community, and he wants to get ahead on that. If you refer someone to the community, you're getting extra points, and engagement's gaining you some points, but referrals are the biggest amount of points you can get for a single event. I'm just saying, definitely, yeah. Michael Fowler wants to learn how to use spreadsheets.
And
we can. I think we can accommodate that in the very near future, Michael. Honest to God, we've got our very own Matt Nissen, who is a spreadsheet guru, bro.
Yeah, I was going to say that's going to come from Matt. Did I mention that I'm old, Charlie?
Yeah.
Charlie and I we were just talking about this 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Like back in our 20s when we were both like, I could use Microsoft Access and link it to Microsoft Word and Microsoft Excel and come up with this whole graphical interface to input data with nice charts and everything like that. Nowadays, I'm just like, hey, Matt.
Right. So there you go. I'm sure any of these guys would love you to put them down as your reference as who recommended you to the group. There's a little spot in that sign up page where you can put that, who's the guy that recommended you. Those guys are out there fighting to get the top dog spot because they want to win one of these fabulous Rand McNally Clear Drive 220 headsets, either in black or maybe in camo like Jeff has there. We're going to do our best to accommodate your choice and make that happen. Sometimes they're not available, but whatever.
I haven't checked the numbers this week, but last time we checked, gosh, who was it that was the man to beat?
It started with it was Craig Hutchinson. That guy.
Hutchinson,
I always forget about that guy.
Go figure.
It's so easy to forget about that guy. I don't even know. That guy that was the number one guy in has been the number one guy to log into the show here for weeks and weeks, and it's usually him and Chris Hamilton fighting back and forth. So you can tell these guys, they love to fight back and forth. I'm just saying, and it's fun to watch, and we enjoy the hell out of it. It's all in good fun, man. Bear Hunter is behind. Just saying that. Yes, sir. You are a little bit behind. But yeah, so make some things happen, guys. We'd like to help you. I just noticed your name, Western Star Cowboy under Jeffrey Morton. That is you. So you didn't even make it through. I mean, you were already speaking Western Star when we started the show, is what I just realized. It didn't go an hour.
It's been up there for 2 hours.
Good Lord, man.
I thought that you saw it when I first logged in.
I'm just out of here. I don't even know what to do with this anymore. This guy and his Western Star, I love it. It's fun. We pick on each other.
I was talking to Bear Hunter the other day, and I'm like, so that I've always said that expensive trucks aren't my thing.
Right.
I love the Freightliners. Very easy to maintain, low maintenance costs, great fuel mileage. Now I'm in a Western Star, and I love it. I want to buy it. Heaven help me if I ever got into a Peterbilt, I guess. I might just be a Peterbilt guy if I ever actually drove one.
Right. Oh, this is funny. Hey, look. Bear Hunter, are we really going to let Craig win everything? Take RWE back, Hunter 2024. I'm just saying. Bear Hunter 2024, go for it, bro. I can't endorse any one person. That would be unfair and not right of me. Myself, Jeff, Rosie, Donna, we're not eligible. Josh Hull's not eligible to win this device. So, our engagement numbers are higher than everybody's.
All you got to do is talk to Tim and get all of Rob's people to sign up, and you win.
Right.
Just saying.
You could do it. Make it happen, guys. It's all on you. Just make some things happen. We would appreciate it. And, let's be real. People are really going to benefit from the community, and we believe this. I know for, I can say that I know people are going to learn things. They will do better.
Chris is trying to start a fight with Sean.
Yeah, do it. Do it.
That it's the same as a KW. What do you have to say about that, Bear Hunter?
Oh man, throwing down, just drop them. Like if this was hockey, his jersey just came off, the gloves came off, and they are about to do this. And yeah, I could. Clash of the Titans. Let's make some things happen. Just so you know, you never want to throw down with Matt Nissen. Just forget about it. Walk away. Either that or you got to take him off the kneecaps before anything happens. Just throwing that out there. Don't try and lock horns with that dude.
I don't know. At his height and my short height, I'm just saying. Right there.
Right? Chris Hamilton said if he wins the headset, he's going to donate to a trucker in need. There you go. I got no fault with that. I dig it, brother. I appreciate that. We've given away some headsets in the past. We've given away some other things. And just so you know, we've got more plans for these giveaways coming up. Where the goal is to make them bigger and better and make things more fun and keep people engaged and just have fun. You know what I mean? While helping as many people as we can help. So with that being said, Jeff, you got anything else you want to throw out there? Do you think we covered it pretty well tonight? I
think we did.
I'm actually pretty pleased with tonight's show, honestly. I had a lot of fun last week, but I actually feel good tonight from this one.
Good.
Based on the information and the engagement and people talking back with us. And, man, like everybody was on fire tonight. And, man, so thank you guys. I appreciate you.
If you guys want to do a hot seat with us live on the show, let us know.
Yeah.
And as far as I think Tim said, he would love to do it if he's not driving. And, it's same time every week. So let us know if you're available and we can put you on and we can talk some more about that P&L of yours if that's what you want to talk about. Or
absolutely.
Or maybe what you learned from a clean P&L if that came up.
Having all the data and information there is going to be a little more helpful. Right?
Yeah.
Not to mention come tax time and preparedness. That would have sucked to not know that was missing information. Or not in the right spot so that it's not, handled properly. Anyhow, you guys, we're live here. If you're new, you haven't watched us, you're watching this on the replay, you just stumbled across us and you actually made it to the end of the show. Let us know down in the comments that it's first time here or you're watching it on the replay and you made it to the end. That's awesome. By all means, reach out to us. You can find Jeffrey Morton and Charley Mahon, Mahon, just like you see my name on the screen here. There you go. Charley, EY, CHARLEY, MAHON. Everybody likes to spell my name, IE, whatever. I don't care. It's EY, just to be correct. And Jeff actually goes by Jeffrey Morton on the Facebook.
Yeah, it's JEFFREY. I use my full name on there. We are weird people. We use our real names on everything we do.
So hit us up on the Facebooks. Reach out to us there. We look forward to seeing you guys next Tuesday live, 6 p.m. Eastern time, like every week, guys. Be safe. Take care of each other. No one's out here looking after us but us. And we look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. Love you guys.